Hello everyone, it's Brother Donnie, Country Homestead Preacher. I wanted to take a few minutes and not doing a Bible study with this video, but we've had a couple of people ask us about our homestead and just wanted to take a few minutes and give you a tour, a visual tour of our homestead. We've been here almost 2 years now. We have 5 acres, and as you can see, I'm sitting in front of our chicken coop. Now, we would love to be able to free range our chickens. However, our neighbors have a dog that we don't have fences up around our property, so the dog comes and goes on our property and loves chickens, and that is to eat chickens. So we're not able to free range them until they either go out of town, so we have to keep them in a pen. But it's a good sized pen, and we have 13 chickens, all hens that lay our eggs. And then of course down here is our rabbit cages. We have just started to get into meat rabbits, and we watched a lot of videos from Living Tradition to learn about meat rabbits. And we have 2 females and 1 male currently, and hopefully soon we'll have some little babies and be able to start having some rabbit meat. And then down here is our composting pile that we have going. We started that last year. You can tell that we try to make do with what we have. I was able to, the only thing on this rabbit enclosure that I had to buy was the 4x4 post for the structure, and I was able to find the wood that's on the top, and we put pallets on the side. Those didn't cost us anything, and we're trying to be resourceful with what the Lord has given us, and we're still learning. We learn every single day, learning more and more. And let's walk up the hill here and we'll go and take a look at the garden. And probably the main thing that I've learned in our probably year of homesteading is the fact of how much work it takes. And I did not realize how much work it would actually take to run even a small little tiny farm that's just enough for our family. And I work full-time as well as pastor, and Jennifer's behind the camera. We homeschool our children, and I tell you folks, it takes every bit of time that we have in order to be able to keep up with the place. Seems like when we get the grass cut, it's time to start cutting the grass again. So here is our little garden. Our garden, it's about 15 by 50. This is our first year garden that we've been doing, and you can see there that we have some rattlesnake beans, we have some pole beans, we've got okra that's going to seed. Our okra did real good. We've got some cauliflower planted. We got a bunch of different herbs planted. I got some thyme and some peppermint, some basil. We've also got some, looks like, got some bell peppers, got some carrots over in the far corner. We've already cut down our tomatoes for the year. We're also trying to grow, we've got a grapevine on the fence there. And right here we have a blackberry bush that we planted. Now the deer stripped one side of it. We got us 1 stick of lemongrass here that's growing pretty good. And you'll notice that we went ahead and made the decision to put the ground cover down, and we got that idea from Kevin on Living Traditions, and it's worked very well. Now I don't know where you're at in the country, but here in Alabama, it's kind of like how they have to fight the battle at Deep South Homestead with the pest and the humidity. We fight the very same battle here. But I tell you, this ground covers did very well about keeping the weeds out, and it's doing pretty good. Now, you may not can tell this from the camera, but our yard is terraced here. And it used to be a peach orchard back in the old days. So here is one of the flat sections. It goes down a little hill, and then there's another flat section. We've got our ground cover on the other flat section, but we don't have a fence around it. And eventually we're going to have 4 sections of garden here at some point in time. That's kind of what we'll be working on in the winter time. Come over here, I want to show you our how we deal with our rainwater off of the well house. This is our well house. We don't have city water or county water, so we rely on a deep well. And what we did, we took gutters and put it on 2 sides, and we just piped it in, and it catches all the rainwater. And we put it in a food grade tank over here, and it just gathers it up, and that's what we are trying to water our garden with. And we're trying to come up with different ways to get this water further out there, and we work when we can. Saturdays is usually our work day, because as I said, I work full-time as well as pastor and all the other things. So Saturday is really a daylight to dark day that we work. This is Turbo here. Turbo is our neighbor's dog, very good dog, but just doesn't have any boundaries, and he's almost like a neighborhood dog. Come on down here and I'll show you our animals. Now you'll have to excuse our neighbors in the very front. Some of the teenagers are riding motorbikes, so you may hear it be a little loud. It's okay. Now we live on about 5 acres, and I don't know if you can see it very well, but the lay of the land, where our house is, it's relatively flat, but then everything else is terraced. And in our goat pasture, it is all terraces except for the very bottom. Now, this is Noah here. Noah is a Great Pyrenees. We bought Noah as well as 4 goats at one time about a year ago. And Noah is the best herd protector I've ever seen. It's absolutely phenomenal to watch Noah do his job. He's not a dog that you get in the house and pet and love on him. He will love on you when you get in there, but his primary function is to protect the stock. This is Molly over here. Molly is our fainting goat. She's a sweet girl. We've got 3 ducks. We've got Molly. And then down here, we've got, these are our 2 babies that we just had this past year. And this is Noah. Noah's a good dog. We have 4 sheep, and I think we are up to 4 goats, I believe. 4 goats, 4 sheep. Peter is the one Nubian we have right here, and we rescued Peter from a auction, and we bought Peter and Simon. Simon's over here. Simon is our girl sheep. We bought Peter and Simon together, and when they were real little, and they are still friends to this day, and we tried to bring them home and take care of him. We nursed him back to health. Later on, we bought our ram. This is Oreo. What's the ram's name? Domino. Domino. I can't keep up with names. This is Domino, and I don't think we've come up. I had a man call me about these 2 sheep here. One of them, the smaller one, is the mama sheep. She actually just walked up in his yard one day and had the baby, and they were wanting to get rid of the 2 sheep, so I loaded them up and went over and picked them up and brought them back to our herd, and we're hoping one day to have some baby sheep for the freezer. These are, even though the goats, we don't milk them yet, we are trying to advance our understanding of all that kind of stuff, of, you know, the shots and all that. We do keep them updated with vaccinations, but hopefully one day we can even have goat milk, and certainly we want to have lamb meat one day. So you can see, I don't know if you can see it very well, that is the goat house slash sheep house. It's totally made from material that I was able just to collect, some pallets and some tin, and it works very well for them. We try to keep our costs down, just like many homesteaders, as much as possible. And as you know, some of this stuff can get rather expensive. But we love homesteading. We are learning more and more. And if I was going to give any advice, which I'm not in very much position because we're really still learning, I would say you have to understand what kind of work it's going to be when you start. Because I'm telling you folks, for the last 2 years, every Saturday and just about daylight to dark during the week when we don't have church or family obligations, we are out working because it takes that much. So that's kind of our farm. You can see that's our house there on the hill. I don't know if you can tell the yard. The yard is terraced. Again, we have 5 acres. We're out in the country. We're out in the county. If we want to shoot, we can shoot. If we want to have fires, we can have fires, and that it works well for us. And we are learning more and more. I'm hoping very soon to start to learn how to shear the sheep. I already have learned how to do the goat hoofs, and I've also been able to apply bands to one of the billy goats that we got rid of. That was this billy goat that we learned to do that, because you got to understand, I'm from the country. But I have never been around a whole lot of farm animals very much. So we're learning more and more and more. You can tell Noah, he sees Turbo, and they aren't exactly friends, but from Noah's perspective, he's trying to protect his herd, and he does a very good job at that. Well, I'll have a video on Colossians, maybe tonight, possibly tomorrow, and we'll continue on with our Bible study. Just wanted to take a minute to show you our homestead. If you have any suggestions or questions, please put them in the comment box. But I hope this has been a blessing to you, and I hope you are in the Word with the Lord, because He is the only way. Until I see you again, this is Brother Donnie, Country Homestead Preacher. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.